Did you know that an incredible diary is buried deep within the pages of history? This diary is the personal account of Gerhard Linke, a German lieutenant who served with the 185th Infantry Regiment of the 87th Infantry Division of the Wehrmacht. As for his personal battles, our knowledge is limited to what he himself recorded in his diary. Gerhard Linke, a German soldier, emerges as a youthful and educated figure with a distinctive perspective on warfare. He believed strongly in military discipline, order, and the bonds of brotherhood formed in battle. He was undoubtedly brave, awarded 2 Iron Crosses for his actions on the Eastern Front, and handled the challenges of frontline life with relative ease. On December 5, 1941, a massive battle unfolded with 2.8 million soldiers involved. Surprisingly, the Red Army, though outnumbered in troops, guns, tanks, and mortars, had an edge in aviation. They had 1.1 million soldiers, 7,650 guns and mortars, 770 tanks, and 1,000 combat-ready aircraft. In contrast, Germany had 1.7 million soldiers, 13,500 guns and mortars, 1,100 tanks, and 615 planes, led by experienced veterans. This battle, won by the Red Army, shattered the myth of the Wehrmacht's invincibility, offering hope not only to the Soviet people, but also to Allied nations. If Moscow had fallen, it could have been a severe blow to the Soviet Union, both ideologically and logistically. But the Red Army's victory changed the course of World War II. Now let's dive straight into the German lieutenant's diary. On November 15, 1941, Colonel Carlson from the 481st Infantry Regiment assumed control of our section on the front. We shifted to fresh lodgings in Oreshki village, where we're set to take a break until the offensive restarts. The village is bustling with our entire regiment, and it's getting quite crowded. On November 16, we enjoyed a sunny day amidst picturesque snowy landscapes. However, peace remains elusive as we maintain vigilant guards in the forested terrain. Daytime weather is bearable, but nighttime frost is brutal. Darkness falls by 4 p.m. and daylight only returns at 7:30 a.m. This morning, Redkino faced an enemy attack, causing casualties as shells landed on the village outskirts. After 7 weeks, we received heartening messages from home, boosting our morale. As we prepare meticulously for the days ahead, the threat of enemy raids and burning villages looms large. Limited shelter exposes our troops to frostbite and illness. Our fighting force is dwindling, but we finally received winter boots and uniforms, albeit a bit late. A beautiful morning at -9 degrees C, but Redkino is still active with gunfire from Gorbovo. November 18. After a quiet night, preparations for an attack are underway. Expectations are high as we get ready to encircle Moscow, hoping for a strong position and perhaps a chance to be withdrawn. The 3rd Battalion swiftly breaks enemy resistance at the forest's edge. We head to Petrovo, but face confusion due to imprecise maps. We clear the village, capturing prisoners, destroying a tank, and seizing weapons, including unfamiliar tank guns. Our journey continues through Okrino, Zhityanino, and Timonino, with some traffic snarls along the way. Convoys struggle on poor roads, wasting time. We halt in Gornovo village. The regiment surprises the enemy, taking Iglovo and Zavyazovo villages. Hidden heavy guns at the forest's edge deal losses to the Red Army. We capture 250-plus prisoners but endure 2 wounded. My health worsens. Quinine helps. The temperature hovers at -10 degrees C to -7 degrees C under grey skies. Surprisingly, Russian artillery stays silent in some areas, likely focusing on the main attack zone. We hear Stalin's organ salvo gun growing more active. We head to Torkovo and encounter artillery fire, resulting in casualties. Rocket shells hit the village during a conversation with Major General Lucht. Slow progress in the forest and casualties. An anti-aircraft squad arrives, and we accompany them to Sosenica. Enemy attacks on the 173rd Infantry Regiment led to firefights, prisoner captures, and casualties. We prepare to attack Semino, facing tanks and artillery fire. We capture Semino village, blocking the highway. Tense moments as Russian infantry threatens Sosenica. Evening brings rest and warmth. with staff officers taking turns to stay vigilant. It's Sunday, but there's no sense of calm at our headquarters. The phone keeps ringing, and there are constant liaisons, visits to the battalion, and discussions. We also experience sporadic enemy fire in the field. Meanwhile, our D-miners are working diligently on clearing the road, and we manage to capture a group of Russian scouts. Before we march forward, click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to ensure you're the first in line for the next gripping chapter of the Battle of Moscow diary. The offensive continues, but we run into formidable enemy positions in the forest. This encounter resulted in significant casualties. Tragically, Lieutenant Dr. Richter loses his life while leading the 11th Company along the Zvenigorod-Istra road. In the midst of chaos, I searched for the 6th Company, which was dispatched to assist, but found itself without a commander and scattered. It takes considerable effort to reorganize and restore order to this unit. Throughout these events, we face relentless enemy artillery fire from Stalin's organ, a formidable weapon. Our soldiers learn to react swiftly to the distant sound of shots, taking cover as shells explode nearby. The constant shelling causes numerous houses to catch fire, and we do our best to rescue as many nearby wagons as possible. Furthermore, our losses mount from both enemy encounters and sickness, visibly diminishing our combat capabilities. The company's size dwindles rapidly, leading some soldiers to anxiously mark the days ahead. While our fighting spirit continues, we witness a growing gap in the skills and dedication of new recruits, resulting in disruptions and disarray among our ranks. During this time, we held positions on a former enemy front line. Stubborn resistance on the right flank temporarily halted our advance towards Moscow, as SS units and tanks occupied Istra. Burial ceremonies for fallen regiment members were held in Samino. As the weather improved, aviation activity increased. Our anti-aircraft group, led by Lieutenant Hecker, downed an enemy single-seat fighter, while neighboring units also achieved air victories. We conducted reconnaissance and established communication with the 7th and 187th Infantry Regiments. To address troop reductions, we restructured the regiment under 2 battalions. Soldiers falling ill and being sent to the infirmary raised concerns. We hoped for Guderian's tank units to infiltrate from the southwest towards Moscow. As winter neared, we planned to create a robust defense line, hoping heavy snow wouldn't impede our mobility. Our equipment and training weren't ideal for winter warfare, and we sought to understand the upcoming challenges. On this Sunday, the attack was set to continue, and commanders from the attached units spent the day in discussions. In a heartwarming gesture, resourceful drivers created a festive wreath, and we gathered for a pre-Christmas atmosphere illuminated by candlelight. Despite the rough surroundings, the warmth of camaraderie prevailed, as we enjoyed cookies sent by my mother. Progress continued throughout the day, with the advanced battalion securing a position on the forest's edge. Investigations of trenches revealed casualties from recent battles. The sappers assembled and destroyed captured Russian weapons while taking prisoners. Despite navigational challenges and a lack of telephonists, we pressed on. The day was marked by cold temperatures and ongoing combat. The regiment's main forces reached Lipki, which we captured overnight. Our objective for the day was to take Palitsi. Schlegel's battalion navigated through the forest, engaging enemy rearguards while scouting the terrain on both sides of the village. Accidental friendly fire caused confusion. Despite these challenges, we secured the village of Palitsi. The day ended with clear and cold weather, and Russian aviation remained active. As we conclude this chapter of the Battle of Moscow diary penned by the brave German soldier Gerhard Linker, make sure you don't miss the next gripping installment. Hit that subscribe button and join to stay updated on his remarkable journey through history.